welcome to our second review of the evening. This time is this has actually got. It's listed as the Majesty of Colors, but its full title is "I Fell in Love with the Majesty of Colors Remastered." It's an important designation because the remastered version is the paid version. There is a free version of this game available on sites like Congregate. And this game comes to us from our friends at Future Proof. If you remember, we did an interview with them some time ago. I don't think we actually talked about this game in particular. We were more focused on Rosette Diceless, their RPG, and Exploit Zero Day, their hacking web game thing. I think we might have talked more about Ossuary than the Majesty of Colors. Anyway, this game was assigned to Twilight Winter, so he will be covering the body of the review. So without any further ado, Twilight, take it away.
All right. Well, to start off, the Majesty of Colors Remastered, as Adamo explained, it's a remastering of the Flash game from 2008, and was well received by players and got endorsement from the notable websites of the time, such as Kotaku and Penny Arcade, which pretty much justifies its remastered existence. The premise of the story is that you are this gigantic sea creature that has apparently spent most of its existence in the ocean's abyss, and this one day happened to wander its way up to the ocean surface and discovered the existence of the human world, and took interest in it when it reached out and grasped a random balloon and discovered the existence of color, and wanted to further understand this new world it found.
Bonus points for scientific accuracy for there not being color at the depths of the ocean, I suppose, or not being much color.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it would be no surprise if anybody was possibly thinking that there might be some inspiration from H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos or such, since there were notes in the game that the creator actually was inspired by the Cthulhu mythos, but decided to subvert it with instead of this creature being some godlike entity that has no apathy, is apathetic towards humans and doesn't care for them. It decided it wanted to learn more about the surface world and the people who exist on it, and is not above helping if it decides to. So that brings us to the gameplay aspect of the game. Your one means of interacting with the surface world is through the one tentacle that the creature uses, and it's going to be used to grab things and drop them or toss them. This is anything from vehicles to people, and depending on how you interact with these things, you could, for example, if you decide to, if you don't do any harm to the people, they won't hate you, but if you kill somebody, it may decide to try to kill you instead later on.
What? Actions have consequences?
Indeed. And let's see now. You're given hints towards what you can do via the the creature's thoughts. Like it'll mention something of interest in the. It's usually just one thing that appears on the screen that it's interested in, and it says I could. Should I help this thing, or what? Would be a good idea if I interacted with it or something like that? Yeah. And depending on what you do, like I said already, that depending on your actions, this may the humans may retaliate. And if they do, the creature's health is determined by its eyes. It's got 3 visible eyes, and if it loses all 3 of those, it will die. Mm. And that's about all I can really say in terms of gameplay. It's pretty simplistic, and however, it does give you a sense of that you're seeing the world via this creature's perspective, through its thoughts and choice of how to interact with anything, which I thought was pretty neat. In terms of graphics, it does serve the game. The pixel art really does serve the game well. Everything's compared to this creature, everything's small and so small you can't really make out any details on the people or not a lot of detail on the vehicles that through, like the airplanes or boats. And that's what you could say makes everything much more alien looking as well, in a way. At least that's how it looks to me. You're this creature and looking out into the world from underwater, everything's going to look kind of. And yeah. And also, this, of course, obscures the creature's appearance as well. You still can't see the entire thing either. I'm kind of rambling at this point.
Well, I mean, you want to leave some mystery, otherwise it's not very eldritch.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the audio, there's no music. The only sound you ever hear is the crashing sounds of the ocean waves and the sounds of the vehicles that the people use, like the boats, airplanes, or their weaponry, like bombs and rockets. They launch at you if they become aggressive. The audio quality is good. I actually felt like I was actually there at the ocean, and I was actually in the presence of the vehicles and airplanes.
Well, that's pretty good that if they get verisimilitude in sound.
Yeah. Anybody got any questions so far at this point?
Did you play the original version?
I did. Besides slight graphical difference, there's really no difference between the two. The remastered version is much more polished. Most notably, the tentacle is a lot more fluid, I guess you could say. But that's about the only real notable difference I saw.
I see.
I guess that brings us to pricing. So,
It clocks in at $2.
yeah. And at $2, yeah, say this game's worth it.
Now, is the Flash game still available for somebody who wants to try that, or?
There's something I'm tempted to mention, but I was kind of want to keep it a secret and kind of ambiguous. Well, yeah. Anyway, the game kind of actually serves as sort of a commentary in a way of as a, I guess not really, but it kind of makes you think about the perspective of something that's not used to another world entity, and how I'll just leave it at that. Hate to have the review be short, but there's just not a great deal to actually talk about.
Indeed. All right. So anything else?
I guess that's about it.
All right. So that'll about do it for the Majesty of Colors Remastered. Be sure to tune in after the break as we will be reviewing Steam Prism.